Well, girly pops. She sounds husky, she sounds sexy. Not really, I sound like bloody Dot Cotton after 100 cigarettes in the EastEnders. Oh my god, hello girly pops. You're gonna have to forgive my vocal cords today. I mean, hey, this is gonna be a unique episode because you're gonna get the sexy tones of my voice with a viral illness. Girlies, this might be a bit of a struggle, this record today, because obviously the vocal cords are what we require to yap away in Yap City. But you know what? I'm stocked over here. We've got the Vicks Vapor Rub, which, by the way, I know you're not supposed to really inhale this all the time, but oh, it's so good. I love Vicks Vapor Rub. I feel like it's well, probably not anywhere near as bad as like smelling petrol, obviously, but you know how we're not really supposed to enjoy smelling petrol because it's bad for you, but like, I guess Vicks Vapor Rub, you're technically supposed to like rub it on your chest and like maybe put a few drops into steamed water. You apparently shouldn't really like fully sniff it out the pot, but to be fair, there's like scrapes left in mine, so if it was like a full whack bottle, then fair enough, but oh, the smell of like is it methanol or whatever is in Vicks Vapor Rub? It's delightful. It's the only thing that's going to assist me while I struggle out here with a fucking viral infection, some kind of chesty cough going on, girls. I've got my hot lemon and ginger tea to assist. And you know what? She's got the Carmex on the lips. Not that that's anything to do with being ill, but side tangent. This is my product of the week. I went on a little bit of a ramble about skincare last week, and I've always looked at these Carmexes, and obviously they're a very popular brand of lip balm. I've always been a bit of a Vaseline tin girly, but I was like, you know what? Let's find a little easy applier. Can we just say, the lips are looking sensation, and the taste of these, it's like a cherry taste. I feel like I could eat this lip balm, which is not recommended, but anyway, we're ready, we're here, we're back in action. It's been about 2 weeks or so since I was sort of like last live and recording. How the devil have you been, gang? It has been a bit of a week off for me because I was over in Wales for my bank holiday weekend. I had a little time with my family, which was very nice, and the logistics of me trying to record a pod on that weekend and then get it out by the Wednesday was just not going to happen, I'm afraid. So I had to take a very rare week off, which I very rarely do, but I was like, do you know what, it's time to get back. Probably the timing of this throat viral chest infection, wherever it bloody is, didn't really need it on my return, thank you very much. Could do with some stronger vocal cords, and I probably will pay the price for this after I end this pod. I'll be like, I'll have no voice left by the end of this, but it's what we do, girlies. It's what we do for the content. We do it for the pod. But anyway, I hope you had a marvellous Easter. What did you all get up to? I had a really nice, just chill time with my family. What did we do? Looked after my beautiful little niece for a little day, and we did an Easter egg hunt, which is always very cute to do with little kids. They get very excited. I mean, I feel like as the adult, I am equally as excited when I'm seeing Easter eggs. But yeah, just kind of chilled, spent time with family. Didn't really do anything that chaotic, really. Went out for some nice Sunday lunch. Little recommendation to anyone who may be listening in Wales or near the vicinity of Cardiff. Banging restaurant in Cardiff, which I've always been a fan of, called Pasture. This will be no good if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, I'm afraid, because it is sort of like a steak meat kind of place. But oh, we went for a Sunday Easter lunch and it was absolutely banging. It's like really good top quality food, and it's just nice. It's a nice experience. It feels like a little bit bougie in there. I think they've actually got one in Bristol too. There's only 2 of them in the UK. If you're ever listening, Pasture owners, please God come to Manchester. I'd be thrilled. But yeah, that was a really nice Sunday lunch out. So that was probably like the highlight for me. What else did I do? Can't honestly remember now at this point. It feels like it was 10,000 years ago. Bank holidays are always a lovely period away from work, obviously, but they go far too quick. But yeah, just a bit of a mooch around, and then very sadly I seem to have brought back to Manchester with me the lurgy. I think that's what you get when you hang out with a little 3-year-old who's got germs and a cough, so probably got it off her. But Yeah, to be fair, I actually think I might have said this in a previous pod, or maybe I was having a conversation with someone in real life, but I had been saying as of late that, like, touch wood, I'm amazed that I haven't been ill at all in like months and months. And of course I jinxed myself. So do you know what? It was probably time. And I'd honestly rather get this lurgy out the way before my travels next weekend to Barcelona. I really do need these germs to go away because I would like to have a thriving time. I'm going to go visit my bestie, Josie, who lives over there. And we're actually going to record a pod over there. I'm so excited for that. The setup's going to be a little bit different. I'm going with fucking Ryanair. She's a bit of a budget bitch out here. And I've literally taken a rucksack. It's actually my first time traveling, not taking any hand luggage other than just my rucksack. Like, I usually take a rucksack and like a rolly suitcase on board or like a checked in bag. But because I'm having such like a in and out quick trip and it's only mainly to like visit my friend, I was like, I'm just going to save on the money this time and literally just take what I need in a rucksack and hope for the best. I think I'm quite a light packer anyway, but it should be interesting because you know what bloody Ryanair, like, they're notorious for like searching every crevice of your bag, like it can't measure more than 5 centimeters, check that it fits in the basket, all this shit. So yeah, I mean, that's if the bloody flight takes off, because let me tell you girlies, these last few weeks with the war on Iran, I mean, I'm going to get into that a little bit with the politics corner later, but all this drama over the fuel shortages, I mean, I can't lie, there's like a minuscule part of me that's been terrified that any of my travel plans may be cancelled at any given moment, but fingers crossed, we should be fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to returning to Barcelona. Oh, Barcelona, I'm going to get into my Spanish vibes. I don't know why I started talking like that. That is a very bad accent and I don't know what I'm trying to do. That was like a blend of Indian and like Polish. What the fuck was that? Anyway. That's how you get into the Spanish. That's how they speak in it really fast. And I need to brush up on my bloody Spanish Duolingo. It's been a long time since I've spoken any Spanish. To be honest, as long as usually somebody understands, hola, una fanta limón, por favor, gracias. That's about as far as my Spanish needs to go, to be fair. I take advantage of my friend in Spain because she can do all the main Spanish talking. And I'm like, girlie, can you just order me what I need to order? Thank you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a little trip to hopefully somewhere a little bit sunnier, a little bit warmer than the UK. I have not been to Barcelona for a hot minute. I know I did kind of low-key slate Barcelona a few episodes back when we were doing like our travel episode with me and Amber Adele. But what I did also say in the same breath as not being a big fan of Barcelona is that I obviously love it for the memes and for seeing my friend. And I will give it a little shout out. There are a few little things there, a few little like snacks and food spots that I do enjoy going back to. My friend introduced me to this place and it's called Las Fritas. They have 2 in Barcelona and I actually think they have 1 in Valencia too. And it's literally just the most simple cuisine. It's just a cone of chips. It sounds so boring, but it's like, I can't express to you how good these chips are. It just comes in these big cones. You can actually get a bucket of them, which is kind of crazy. But it's like a big cone of these like nice hand-cut fresh chips they make there and then. And then you can put loads of different toppings on them. And you can get like this melted cheese thing. Oh. I literally said to her, I was like, girl, I've been to Barcelona many a time now. I'm not interested in trotting around. I don't give a shit about the tourist stuff anymore. I'm not that bothered. I just want to come see you, chill in your flat. We'll do our little pod. But I said the only place I want to go to is Las Fritas. Take me there and maybe to Mercadona and my day is set. So I'll be very much looking forward to getting all the goods. I'm a girl who is simply pleased by simple things like fun little snacks and food and just quality time. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, me and Josie have been trying to do a pod episode for quite some time now, but obviously it is a bit difficult when we've all got different lives and she's over in Barcelona and we've got to try and make the time work. So it just happened that like the timing will actually kind of work great while I'm there. So I'll be doing it on her laptop, so I won't have the mics with me. So it might sound a little bit different next week, but I think we can make it work. So stay tuned for that. We're going to actually do kind of a full episode on like moving away from home. And as I've sort of mentioned in previous pods, like I did a big move myself about, nearly 2 years ago now, moving away from Wales up to Manchester, which, for some might not sound like a big move, but for me it was quite a big move, moving halfway up the country. And she did an even bigger move years ago where she left Wales and went over to Barcelona. So we're going to kind of delve into just those experiences and perhaps the highs and lows of all of that, and even just moving house in general. I'm sure there's going to be many people that can relate to just the topic of the pod. So that's what's coming up. So stay tuned. In other travel news, I did book myself a cheeky little halls, also in Spain, in Palma, Mallorca. I don't know who I thought I was this week. Quite frankly, I can't afford it. I don't have the savings. And the cost he lives these days, I'm not able to make much of a dent in any savings anymore because life is just so expensive and the wages never match it, and it's a whole thing. I'm sure many of us can relate to this struggle as of late because the cost of living crisis has been pretty insane in the UK. And generally, I'm usually very good with my money. Like, I've always had like a nice, decent pot of savings for emergencies, and I've still sort of got a pot, but like nowhere near what I'd like it to be. And to be honest, I've just been racking myself, like, as of late, just getting so frustrated and always worrying and stressing about money and like, oh God, but like I can't get my savings back up and life's just so expensive and there's more things I have to pay for now and yada, yada, yada. And like, for that reason, I've just kind of been restricting myself with holidays and things. Like, I had like a very brief trip over the New Year period when I went to Gdansk in Poland, but like that was like, I only really justified that because it was Poland and because it's very affordable to go to Poland, and actually like spending money there is really cheap in terms of the currency exchange. And I basically only did that because I had a bit of Christmas money that I could use. But like, if I hadn't had that extra money, like I wouldn't have gone on that holiday. And the time previous to that was like way back last September when I only went for like a few days with my family. So it wasn't like as expensive because we were like sharing a villa and stuff. But in terms of just like wanted to go on a little solo trip and like go somewhere new or anything like that, I've just unfortunately not really had the finance or the confidence to do it because I've just been panicked so much about money, thinking, oh God, I shouldn't really be buying that and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? After like 4 months of just winter and depression, I think I just reached a point, and I think maybe just in like the current situation of life at the minute with the state of the world, the endless bloody wars, the economy just continuing to go in tatters. I was like, honest to God, I'm over it. I'm literally over it. I feel like in this life, you try your hardest. I do everything I'm supposed to do. I'm not like splurging my money left, right and centre. I'm really actually just, I'm not like a materialistic person at all. I literally just pay for all my bills, my general living, a little bit of leisure every now and again to like go to the cinemas or have a meal out with a friend, God forbid, and maybe a cute little bakery treat on the weekend. Like, I literally don't spend my money on hardly anything. And I was just like, I ain't being funny. Why in this life am I wasting my energy and hours slaving away for shit pay while these billionaires at the top just decimate our globe for unnecessary reasons, making me poorer? The whole Iran war of it all, just kind of briefly sprinkling into politics corner for a second, like the way that I've been so furious this last week or two, ever since fucking Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu decided to invade Iran and drop bombs all over him for God knows what reason. Was there really a justified reason? I don't know. You could argue many arguments here, but ultimately it's obviously drastically impacted our lives, even over here. The cost of fuel has gone up pretty immediately. There's a lot of worry around the cost of travel, a potential lack of jet fuel. There's so many ways in which it impacts us, unfortunately. And then once again, our mortgage rates. Oh, I was so excited. This summer was like the end of my like fixed term rate, right, on my mortgage on my flat. And I was very much predicted for it to like go down, like not by a huge amount, but like honestly, it was bound to be like £100 saving a month. And to me, that's a lot of bloody money. I was like, oh my God, the struggle of the last few years. We're finally getting there, girlies. I'm going to have so much money. I'm going to be rich. Not at all. But unfortunately, I've now come to discover that that's just a complete farce. And literally because of the war and because of the instability in like the economic situation and everything that impacts it, I've now just come to discover that I actually am having a more expensive mortgage. I was like, oh, love that for me. Thank you so much, you fucking oaf of a man who should not be in office, who should not be in such a powerful position that impacts almost the entire fucking globe because it's America. Oh my God. absolutely fuming. So I'm just reeling. I'm like, all I've done is worry and stress and not had a holiday or anything for like 4 or 5 months. And like those things are really important to me just for my mental health, to take a break from work. Honestly, getting out of this country when you've been through like 4 to 6 months of winter, of just like dark, grey, cold rain. I hadn't been anywhere sunny since like the previous July, September. I was like, girls, I don't know how much longer I can go on. And I know this is all like very like, oh my God, first world problems. Like I realise I'm very fortunate and I'm more than okay in my current situation. And obviously if I can't have a holiday, I appreciate that that is probably a luxury. But like, in my opinion, I actually think it's kind of sad that we have to even view it as a luxury. I'm not saying that like popping on holidays is just like an absolute nothing thing, right? It's not just like popping to your cafe and getting a £5 coffee. But like, I just feel like in this lifetime, the amount we fucking work and like the amount that we're overworked, quite frankly, in most of these jobs these days, most of us treated like absolute shit. Like, these companies do not give a shit about you if you die tomorrow. And this is supposedly meant to be life, right? We're supposed to just be adulting, paying all our bills, doing all the right things. And I just feel like it actually isn't that much to ask for somebody to be rewarded by being able to use their own money to maybe have like 1 to 2 holidays max a year. Like, I actually don't even think that should be a luxury. I genuinely don't. Because there was a time where it was far more affordable. Like, I remember back in like sort of 2017-18 where I was on my lowest wages ever, working in like shitty call centres, renting a flat near like Cardiff City Centre, and like I had loads of money and I could take myself on so many trips. I used to be able to go to Spain for like a week, half board, nice little hotel, £500. All included, flights, all of it. And I mean, the reality of that now is like, it's not even there. And it's so sad to me that is such a luxury these days. Or like, you really have to just sacrifice to be able to make it happen. And you've got to try and pull a lot of strings. And I think I just reached a point where I was like, I'm so sick of the state of this world. I'm so sick of this shitty winter weather. I'm just over it. Like, life's just felt like a bit off kilter for me in 2026, as I sort of mentioned in a previous pod. And like, I just need a bit of reprieve. So do you know what? I said, honestly, this is probably the first time in life that I've ever done this, because I've always been so good with money. But I just said, I've got a fucking credit card. It's going on the credit card. I do not care anymore. If it amasses a little bit of interest and I have to pay a bit extra on it and it takes me longer to pay off, then so be it. Because honest to God, the world could implode, quite frankly, at any moment. I just feel like we can't live this way. I'm not saying this is any bloody financial advice or to just be like sporadic with your money, because I think there's obviously levels to it. I'm obviously a sensible Sally and I make sure that I pay all my bills before anything. But like, I guess that's what a credit card is bloody there, is to like pay now, pay back later, whatever. So I'm just gonna take advantage of it. The times are tough, okay? We're in tough times and we could all frankly be blown up by a bloody nuclear bomb in the next 5 years. So do I want to spend my remaining potential years being sad and depressed, not enjoying the joys of life? No, I don't. So I booked myself a little week away in Palma, Mallorca in Spain, which is literally one of my favourite places to go. I return quite frequently there just because of just multiple reasons. Pure ease. It's like a nice little 2-hour flight away. It's sunshine, it's relatively cheap in comparison, I guess, to other hot destinations. I love the Spanish culture, I love all the little Spanish snacks, I love getting your Fanta Limons, I love going to Mercadona. There's just like a nice comforting feeling when you arrive and you get in your little balcony and you get your little crisps and dips out. Psh, you open up a fresh can of Fanta Limon. Oh, look out at the sea, the sunset. Oh, I just love it. I literally love it. And I have been longing for that for so long. And I'm so excited to go in May because, girlies, I'm pale as a ghost. We need a little bit of a tan. We got to get some vitamin D in this skin. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that very much. And you know what? I actually did have quite a good deal with EasyJet holidays. Shout out. I'm feeling a bit bougie this time because I'm usually flying with Ryanair most places because hashtag gotta save that coin. But actually EasyJet had a pretty good deal on. And I managed to get like a very nice sea view, like literally on the beach hotel. Really good location. Nice modern 4-star hotel. Flight included. Transfers, all of it. For like 1,100, which, I mean, it's kind of sad these days that I think that's cheap, because that's still not cheap at all. But in current climates, that is a win, an absolute win. So She's checked it on the credit card, and I'm going to go live my best life, and I can't bloody wait. So yeah, those are sort of my little travel plans coming up very soon. We're going to be living our best Spanish vibes. And then the only other real travel things that I might eye up in July, I do usually like to go away for my birthday. I probably won't go away for a full week this time because I'm not sure I'll be able to afford yet another one quite so soon. But I'm actually kind of low-key eyeing up Copenhagen in Denmark. It's kind of always been on my list. It looks like a really cool place to visit. I love me a little city break in Europe. And I actually found, again, not too bad of a deal for like 3 nights, around about 500 quid all included. I thought, that's actually not bad. So whilst we currently have jet fuel and like an ability to fly places, I'm not gonna lie, I think there's a part of me as well, because of just like what's been going on in the world, I do almost feel like this sense of desperation to just get out while you can. Because not to be too cynical, but like, I don't think it's very far-fetched to have like genuine fears of what could be happening in the next few years, because by the looks of it, things aren't looking too great on this like Iran-US ceasefire that they apparently agreed the other day. I think the instability there will probably continue for quite some time to come. It is far from over, and especially because we've got the fucking United States of shit brains trying to manage the whole thing. Not that they've managed a single thing of it yet, but like, they've really obviously thrown a spanner in the works, shall we say. So it's not looking great. They don't really have a ceasefire. They pretended that they have just so they can get a bit of oil out there. But didn't they literally break it within the first 24 hours or some nonsense? Israel bombing Lebanon. It's an absolute mess. And don't get me started on the constant distraction that this takes away from the fucking Epstein file shit of all. Can we actually just talk for a second about Melania Trump? Out of the blue the other day, she just made a live statement at the podium with her American flags as the First Lady of the United States, coming out with like this preemptive statement about how she had no involvement in Jeffrey Epstein, and I need these rumours to stop, and I just want to put my view out there that this is not what happened. Really very unprecedented, very strange thing for a First Lady of the United States to do anyway. But everyone's theorising it's because something's about to come out. She's trying to get ahead of the potential leaks or the stories or whatever's going to come, because we know there's so much more of those Epstein files to come. So I'm kind of low-key interested to see where that goes. A part of me, like, low-key thinks that, like, maybe Pam Bondi, who just recently got fired, fuck Pam Bondi, by the way, who was previously in charge of the Epstein files and also did a terrible job with it. Maybe this is her revenge plot. Maybe she was like, you're going to fire me. Look what I got rolled up my sleeves, hun. Don't you worry. I'm coming for you, Melania. I'm coming for you, Trump. Maybe it was like final shots, you know, at the end. Shots fired. Anyway, it's about time we had a bit more resurgence of the Epstein files, because I'm sorry, how we're all just completely distracted by the Iran war. Meanwhile, there's still like 3 million Epstein files to be released. Jesus, time's a ticking, come on. So yeah, I mean, that is kind of your key thing going on in Politics Corner right now. I don't think there's much else we can really focus on other than the Iran war and the fact that like the oil prices, the fuel prices are just astronomically increasing. It's not great times. So do you know what? Do what you can in these times is all I gotta say. Keep praying to the gods that Trump will drop dead at some point and they can all crack on without him. I mean, to be honest, the sad thing is that even if he dropped dead today, you've still got J.D. Vance and all these absolute lunatics still in charge. And it's like, I don't see that much would even change even if Trump wasn't in the picture. There might be a little less unhinged behaviour, shall we say, but I think the core of what they all want to do as an administration still lies there, unfortunately. So I think all America can really do is like sort that shit out in the midterm elections, which I think is coming up quite soon for them. Isn't it this year? I think it's this year. They just need to like somewhat attempt to like move the balance of power and like vote certain people out. So good luck to you, America. Don't fuck it up. Lip sync for your life. Thank you, honeys. Well, keeping on sort of the American theme, and we'll spin this over to a positive note now, we'll go to Culture Corner, because one thing that I have deeply been obsessed with in the last 10 days, we must talk about the Artemis 2 space launch that took place. Oh my God. Space is back, bitches. Science, I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I actually did not know that this was happening until like maybe the day or two before when I started seeing it in the news. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a space launch. Sick. And this was a pretty significant space launch because it's the first time that they have gone back to sort of the moon in like 50 years or some nonsense like that. It was basically a very historical space mission for various reasons. And I came to learn that the name of it, the Artemis 2, I actually didn't know what Artemis even meant until my brother informed me when I was back home. I was like, what does Artemis even mean? I then came to learn that it's actually the name of like a Greek goddess. I'll get you the exact meaning up right now. Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, virginity, and the moon. Often portrayed with a bow and arrow, she is the daughter of Zeus and Leto, twin sister of Apollo. Apollo is what they had a previous mission called, wasn't it? And protector of young women and nature. She is identified as the Roman goddess Diana. Oh, I love it. The symbolism represents independence, strength, chastity, and a deep connection to untamed nature. And so this Artemis space launch, the Artemis crew, there were 4 astronauts on this spaceship, and one of them was a woman that I came to learn. I think this is why they called it the Artemis, because it was going to be the first time in history that a woman would orbit the entire moon, which is so fucking exciting. Christine Cook, her name is. Oh, what a badass. I've been seeing so many like TikTok edits and all sort of videos of her. She just seems like a cool gal. Definitely like someone you want to look up to for sure. She was the mission specialist for this mission. You had 4 of them. So there's basically 3 guys and 1 woman. Reed Wiseman, the commander. Oh, and his story was actually so sweet. I guess like I think his wife, he had a wife who had died of, I think, cancer or something. And I guess she was quite young, and he's got 2 kids. And so this was obviously like probably very emotional for him, like getting to go up to space. And there was this whole moment where they basically named like something on the moon after her, like a crater or something they saw on the moon. And her name was Carol, I think. Was it Carol or Caroline? Anyway, they had this like really emotional moment together where they were speaking back down on Earth to like the mission command space center, whatever they call them. And they just had this really beautiful little speech where they said, you know, we've found all this beautiful stuff on the moon. We've found something new, and it's currently unnamed, and we would like to name it after Caroline. And then they just had like this big group hug, and they were all crying. I was like, oh my God. Just like the little astronaut family, because obviously you have to be so like close to do that type of work, right? Like they literally are like a tight-knit family that get to know each other obviously for many, many years in the build-up to even go up to space. So I thought that was a really beautiful moment. So that was the main commander, Reed Wiseman. Then there was the pilot called Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Cook, and then another mission specialist, Jeremy Hansen. So they actually, technically as of like this morning UK time, they splashed down successfully, which is an amazing achievement. They spent 10 days orbiting the moon. They didn't actually land on it yet, but what I came to learn is that I guess Artemis is a part of like a longer project. So there was like the Artemis 1, Artemis 2. I think by Artemis 4, I think that's the one that is projected to actually land back on the moon, which is something they haven't done in so many years. So you've got Artemis 3 coming up first, which is going to be in 2027. And that one's not going to land on the moon. I think they said that was originally planned to be the one to land on the moon, but they've basically like restructured the mission to serve as like something else. In fact, let me have a little look. Artemis 3 will not land on the moon in 2027 as planned. Artemis 3 mission is to serve as a in-orbit test of docking procedures between the Orion spacecraft and private lunar landers, with the first crewed landing pushed to Artemis 4 or 5 in 2028. So I guess it got pushed back a little bit, but either way, understandable. There's probably so many different things they obviously want to test. And it's weird actually, because when I first started reading about this, I did partially think, oh, that's a bit weird. Like, we have literally already landed on the moon, so why is it that they can't like easily do it again? But I guess if you think about it, like, it's been such a long time since they did that, and the technology and the spacecraft and all of it will be probably so different since then, and science will have evolved and technology will have evolved. So I guess it's probably sensible, obviously, that they do multiple stages to like check it all, really, just to make sure it's like 100% safe. And I mean, these astronauts are so badass. It's just been so inspiring, like seeing what they get up to. Like, there's been probably an era of space that was missing in culture for a long time. I mean, I think that was mainly because of the cuts to funding to NASA over like the many years. But there seems to have been obviously like a bit of a resurgence in recent years, which is really great to see. Because I do ultimately think science and this purpose of science is fantastic. I mean, ultimately, they're trying to discover ways of helping Earth and humanity. And like, you can't ever look at that as a bad thing. Like, it's fantastic and it's revolutionary what they do. And as each kind of year goes on, I think they just keep breaking more and more records and doing new things, which is exciting to see. They actually, on this Artemis 2 mission, I think they, for the first time, I guess I didn't even realize this till the other day. So there's like a lot of people up in space, guys. A lot of people. As of today, there are currently 10 humans in space, which is honestly like a wild concept to think. So let's find out who's actually in space right now. So as of April 11, 2026, there are 10 humans currently in space, split between the International Space Station and the recently returned Artemis 2 mission. The ISS crew, International Space Station crew, consists of members from the Soyuz MS-28 and SpaceX Crew 12 missions, including Christopher Williams, Sergei, oh my god, okay, there's a lot of Russian names here, I think. I'm not going to attempt to say all those. Jack Hathaway, Sophie Adenot, Jessica Meyer. Oh, so this Jessica Meyer girl. So this is what happened. So I think they did like a new thing where, because there's so many of them up in space and up in orbit, I think they like tested out communications between like the spaceships, which is so cool. I don't think they've literally ever done that before. So it was just like having a phone call like on the mics and the walkie-talkies or whatever, and they basically got the 4 astronauts who were on the International Space Station, which is 2 guys and 2 women. Or I think they're like American and Canadian, and they had a conversation with the Artemis crew, like live, and it was so cool. You can actually watch it on YouTube. There's like a full 10-minute video of their conversation. And I guess, obviously, understandably, they all know each other. I could imagine in the space astronaut world, it's a very limited amount of people, isn't it, that get to do that. So they are probably so close-knit and so tight as a crew. And my friend actually was telling me about this, that I guess, so Jessica Meyer, who is one of the female astronauts on the International Space Station, and then Christine Cook on the Artemis 2 space flight, I think they're like besties. They call themselves like space sisters or something like that. Because I guess in 2019, they also made history by completing the first all-female spacewalk, venturing outside the International Space Station for 7 hours and 17 minutes to replace a power unit. How fucking cool! And they just had like a cute little moment where they were like, I just want to like shout out to my space sister, love you girl. I was like, oh my god, girlhood, womanhood. Like just the best, like the absolute best. Astro sisters, that's what they call themselves. The pair often refer to each other as Astro sisters and maintain a close professional and personal bond during their months together on the International Space Station. Oh, we'd love to see it. God, I watched the space launch like live in time and I was so blown away. Like the way that science is actually so crazy. Like we're just launching rockets into space and like the fact that nobody dies is insanity. It is obviously such a risky thing to do and there's always things that could go wrong, but like fair play to them. It's so impressive, like seeing how it all runs at like Kennedy Space Center, which I've been to Kennedy Space Center very gratefully many times in my life, because whenever I've gone on like Florida family holidays to Disney and stuff, we would always take a trip to Kennedy Space Center, and the last time I went was 2022. And there's been 1 or 2 times where we were very close to watching a space launch, but because it's in Florida, like the weather is a little bit hit and miss there, so they do get a lot of like thunderstorms and typhoons and all sorts of rainstorms. So obviously the space launches are very determined by the weather. So I think we were going to go to one when I was quite young, and then it got cancelled. So yeah, it would be an amazing thing to do in this lifetime, to be able to have an opportunity to actually see it launch like in person, because it's amazing enough seeing it on the TV. I just can't imagine like the rumble of like the jets going, like it must feel amazing when you're quite close by. And yeah, Kennedy Space Center is just like a visitor complex in itself. Like it's a full day out, like attraction. It's almost like a theme park but for space, but like it only has like 1 ride. But it's so cool. If you're kind of like a nerd, you don't even have to be a nerd. Like it's actually just genuinely a fascinating place. And it's obviously interesting because it's an active, like live workplace. It's where they literally launch rockets from. It's not just like, oh, here's a museum and some spaceships. It's like you get to tour around like a live atmosphere and environment where you know that there's literally people there like working on spaceships, which I think is fucking cool. You get to see all the like literally life-size rockets there. They've got obviously endless exhibitions of all the previous missions that have gone. There's just so many cool things, and there's like a full bus tour, and they take you to like all the different buildings, and they give you like a rundown of what everything is. And there is a cool ride there that's like a little bit of a spaceship simulator where you feel like you're like taking off. Oh, it's so cool. And then the gift shop at the end. Oh, the NASA gift shop is like one of my favourite places on earth. That was always my favourite part at the end of the day, and just seeing the NASA logo is so, again, I should have worn my NASA shirt for today. There's always things that I think of after the point, and I'm like, oh, this would have like totally fit with the chat. But anyway, I got myself a NASA bauble the last time I was there. They have obviously NASA shirts, NASA everything. And they also sell, which I love getting when I go there, is like the dried pouches of food. And it's usually like things like strawberries or like ice cream bars. But it's like so fun to try. It's like, oh, this is like what the astronauts would eat. Yeah, what a great place. If you ever do in your lifetime go to Florida, maybe for like a Disney holiday or something, take one day out of your holiday to take the journey up to Kennedy Space Center, do a full day there. I mean, to be quite frank, you honestly could do 2 days there. They actually do 2-day passes. Because I'm not gonna lie, when we went, I think we still probably could have done more. And we were there like all day. But you have got to like trek there and back, because it is a bit of a drive out. But yeah, oh, sensational place. It's just so interesting and fascinating to see how it all goes down. But big up the Artemis 2 crew. I'm really glad that they like safely landed, because that's always a slightly terrifying moment in history, isn't it, when the entire world can literally like live watch the landing. And oh my God, it's actually so fascinating. I didn't really understand like the ins and outs of how it works. And obviously there's many steps to the actual landing process, and there's like the deployment of parachutes at one point, and then there's another set of parachutes, and there's so many like factors kind of low-key going against them, and they've obviously got to get it to the T. Like they've got to try and get all their measurements correct so that it splashes down in the correct place. And then I didn't realise that like so they come down to Earth, and then the success is obviously splashing down in the ocean, right? But then the actual operation to take them out of the space capsule and get them like back to land, basically, it takes like a full hour. I was watching a video this morning of how it was all done, and it's so precise, and they have like all these divers come into the ocean, and they obviously got loads of boats and rafts around them, and they create like this massive, almost like a big raft area, so that's big enough for all of them to fit on it. And there's so many people there. There's like 10 to 15 different people just outside the capsule on a boat in the area, in the sea, all just making sure that obviously all the astronauts one by one come out of the capsule. The entire thing must be so fascinating, because like the physics of your body and the way that like it must feel as an astronaut when you've just spent obviously a lot of time in zero gravity. I think when they first come back down to Earth, their body obviously has to adapt, and sometimes they can be quite weak and their legs a bit wobbly, and sometimes they have to like literally take them off on wheelchairs before they can fully get back to it. But fair play to them, they were just up and sprightly. They just got themselves out. They were like slowly walking back to the helicopter and stuff. It was really fascinating to see. So absolutely been obsessed with kind of keeping in tune with that in this last like 10 days. So I'm gonna have to lock into Artemis 3 and Artemis 4, because I can't wait to see how that all goes. Oh my God, we're gonna be alive during a time where they like basically go back to the moon. How fucking cool is that? I wasn't alive on this Earth when they first did that in 1969 at Apollo 11. So oh my God, the fact that we get to live in a time where we get to watch it is so cool. And also what I do kind of love like about it these days is the technology, and obviously things like cameras has come so far now. I mean, obviously it's not like absolutely perfect, and it's still a little bit grainy sometimes, but they have so much more to capture it with now. And even just the astronauts themselves, like they take like their fucking iPhones up with them. Do you know what I mean? Like they're literally taking videos, pictures, GoPros. I think I read somewhere actually that all the astronauts on Artemis 2, and it's probably the case for all astronauts, that they took like, it was either a 2-month or 2-year, one of those two. Maybe it was 2 months. But they did like a full photography course to like make sure they knew they were going to take the best pictures. I was like, God, they're just out here doing all of the work to make sure we get to see like the wonders of space and like that amazing picture they did of is it called the Earth shot? Not Earth shot. The Earth rise photo. It was actually an iconic photo that was taken by Apollo 8 astronaut William Anders on December the 24th, 1968, and it captures the Earth appearing above the lunar horizon, serving as a powerful catalyst for the global environmental movement and the creation of Earth Day. So just Google it if you've not seen it before. Maybe if I find a picture, I'll pop it up here. But they basically recreated that photo this time, and it was just obviously the quality of the camera a lot better, and it was just wow, it's so fascinating to see the moon in that much detail. It's like you look up in the sky and it's just a little dot. And you know what this kind of stuff really does do? It just makes you realise how fucking insignificant we are. And when all these wars and all this shit is going on, it just makes you think, oh my God, guys, we live on this beautiful planet Earth. We simply have to stop killing each other. Come on. We're all just floating on a rock in space. There's so much wonder to it all. And oh my God, I will say I did absolutely howl. There was a video, obviously fucking Donald Trump as the president. He calls up the astronauts and has a call with them whilst they're up there. And he's like, you guys are doing great. And there was just this moment of complete awkward silence where you could tell these astronauts were not interested in entertaining him. And they were obviously very polite and they gave their answers and blah, blah, blah. And then it was Donald Trump was just dribbling on like he always does. And they just kind of because they're on camera as well while this is happening. They were just smiling awkwardly, and they just didn't speak. And it was just minutes of silence. And then I think they sort of were like, oh, are you still there? Oh, yeah. Okay, bye. It's absolutely, girls. That's the absolute contempt we should be meeting Donald Trump with. That did bring me deep satisfaction. So absolutely love the space mission. Very, very exciting. So let's keep our eyes out in the future years for Artemis 3 and 4. And you know what? My final point, just while we're on the sort of the topic of science and technology, I got to go back to a little bit of a rant here, okay? And this is going to be to do with AI once again. I actually did a full episode a little while back about the rise of AI in technology and how it is low-key taking over our lives. But I just got to say, yeah, in this last week, I had the most bizarre experience, which I think we should all be deeply concerned, because AI is all good and great to help with some basic functions. I'm all for advances in technology. I get that there's pros to it, right? But I'm so sorry. I actually had my first experience this week of having attempting to have a conversation with an AI person, i.e., not I'm not talking an automated. So you know when you call up a call center or a company, or you need to get something resolved, right? And a lot of the time you'll get through to some menu, and it'll be press 1 for this option, right? We're all used to that. That's all very automated stuff. And sort of, in the years following, they've kind of beefed that up a little bit by giving you these options to say a few words of what you want, which, by the way, those things never fucking work, because they always ask you to repeat did you say this? And you're like, no, I didn't say that. And then you have to try and manipulate it to understand what it is you want. Meanwhile, obviously, all you want to do is speak to a human, right? So that element of that technology has always been annoying in itself. And now these fucking call centers, not all of them, but some of them, they've taken it a step further now. Now we've got AI call center operatives. I can't get on board with this, girls. I cannot. It is quite annoying enough having to deal with the AI chatbots that you get on websites these days, right? Where again, there is literally always a human on the other side of that chatbot that you eventually speak to, but you have to go through so many layers of speaking to the AI help bot in order to get to those people, right? And again, you've often got to manipulate that so much by consistently typing speak to agent, and eventually the robot kind of gets it and it puts you through to an actual human. And I mean, that's just so annoying in itself. But I just had it was just the creepiest thing. Long story short, I basically was just trying to trace some information for some old workplace pensions. Because obviously when you work in multiple jobs. You have like different suppliers for different pensions. It's a right faff trying to figure out like who the fuck looked after your pension in that job. La la la. Really boring adult shit, right? But there was a service, my dad found it. I think it was called like the pension tracking specialist or something. And you just had to fill out a form and like give them your information and anything that you roughly knew so that they can obviously then trace the information for you. So I submitted it. It was over the bank holiday weekend. Like, I wasn't thinking that much of it. I thought, I'll just submit the form. It'll probably, as it usually does with most places, take a few days for it to process. Someone will be in touch or whatever. I submitted it. Not even like 2 minutes later, I got a phone call, and I was like, oh, I'm all right. It's like an unknown caller. It looked like a call center number. I thought, I don't know who this is. I don't know what it's about. I, at that point, did not even assume that was to do with the pensions thing, because I was like, it's my bank holiday. I'm not interested in like having those conversations on my break. So I let it go to voicemail. And then I could see like the transcript of the voicemail, like it shows on your phone. And it said like, oh, hi, this is Olivia from pension, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, bloody hell, that was rapid. And it's a bank holiday. Like, everything's usually shut on a bank holiday. So honest to God, at that point, I didn't even clock that like that was not a human at all. I just thought, oh, bless Olivia, she's having to work over the bank holidays. What a shit time. It genuinely just took me back to the days of when I worked in call centres and had to work really antisocial hours and didn't necessarily get certain days off. And I thought, oh, I was once you, Olivia. God bless you. Anyway, I get on my bank holiday weekend, but I'm not joking you, every day on from that point for like the next 4 days until I got back home, I kept having that same missed call and the same exact transcript voicemail. I was just like, Olivia, girl, you're either working overtime or you need to give her a rest. I'll get back in touch when I'm ready. And this should have been like the warning signs on the front. Anyway, I get back to normal scheduling. I get another call while I'm cooking in the kitchen. I think, oh, let me answer it this time. And actually, it did look like a different number this time. So I thought, what is this? I actually think it was a mobile number, which is slightly concerning. But anyway, I picked it up and I go, hello. And it kind of immediately goes, hi, is this Megan? And it really did sound like just a woman speaking at first. I thought, oh, I was like, yeah, hi, who's speaking? Oh, this is Olivia from the pension. And I was like, oh my God, it's this bitch again. And within like the first minute of her talking and doing her little introduction, there was a part of me, you do like, if you're kind of tech averse enough and you're down with the trends and you understand like what AI videos look like these days and what people sound like, it is actually quite easily recognizable because it does have this robotic element to it. And I very quickly was like, she was talking. I was like, this doesn't even sound like a human. And in that moment, I was like slightly terrified to say it because it was a human. I was like, I'm really sorry to like offend you. Like, am I speaking to a human? This sounds like an AI robot or something. And I was like, part of me was so terrified that she was going to be like, no, that's just my voice. But no, it then told me, it was like, yes, my name's Olivia and I'm the AI something help desk person and I need some more information from you to get you through to our human expert. And I thought, oh my God, girlie, what the fuck is this shit? I did not ask for this. I don't need this. So I was like, oh, right, let me just entertain this. And I was just genuinely quite curious as to how long this would take. Like, is this actually going to do anything? And let me tell you, it was the worst thing ever. After about 2 seconds of her doing her pre-rehearsed speeches and introductions and all the rest of it, she then starts asking me like, what do you want help with? And starts like reeling out all these disclaimers about like, we need to let you know that we're not here to give financial advice, blah, blah, blah. And I kept saying like, yes, no problem. And it just kept repeating the same thing. And I was like, oh, girlies. And then I would try and give it a chance and like it would ask me like, do you want help with this? And I wasn't even saying like anything other than yeah, yes. And it was the weirdest thing. And you had like minutes and minutes of silence and it just didn't respond to you. And I think the creepiest thing about the whole thing is like how forced it was. Like they're trying to make it feel so natural when you know it's not. They even go to the extent of putting in like a backing track as if they're in a live call. It's so crazy. You can hear click click clacking on the keyboard. You can almost hear like a bit of breathing as if it's like someone live breathing, and you can hear like guys and people chatting in the background muffled as if it's the environment of a call center, which is obviously what you often hear when you actually do call a call center. But the entire time I'm thinking, but this isn't real. That call center doesn't exist. This is a fucking what the fuck? I was like, nah, we have taken this so far. Like, I'm sure some people will listen to that and think, wow, that's so impressive. But to me, it's just so dystopian because it's like, You are speaking to a robot. This is not a real human. Why are we trying so hard to make this feel like the most authentic experience ever when it's not? And like, quite frankly, it's the worst experience ever because all it's doing is prolonging my entire experience. I'm not actually getting anywhere with this. Literally after like 5 minutes, I literally had to hang up because I could not get through to like a human. It just kept like either repeating the same question in a different way, or you would answer it and you would just be there for like minutes at a time, complete silence other than the background sound. And then I just wouldn't say anything because I'm like waiting for it to respond. And then it would be like, are you still there? Can you hear me? I'm like, yes, I can hear you. Could I speak to a human, please? Silence, silence, silence. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. It doesn't even help. Like I said, I'm all for AI if it's actually productive and like helps in any way, shape or form, but it doesn't. If you had just allowed me to speak to a human from the jump, I would have probably had my entire query dealt with in this first 5 minutes. It's like, I do not understand why companies keep funneling money into using these technologies as part of their service. Like, it's so negative to me. Like, and the thing I just felt like the saddest about the entire time was just thinking, and this is the reality of our future. Like, they genuinely want to replace human jobs with this. And it's already happening. The tech sector in itself is something to be studied because I've been seeing a lot of news stories and some sort of facts on it recently where like there are some big tech giant companies sort of in America. There's a company called Oracle and they've just slashed like 30,000 jobs, which is a lot of jobs. And there's many other tech companies, I don't have the names off the top of my head, but like a lot of them have been slashing jobs in order to funnel more of their money into AI data centers. Like, that's a real thing that's happening. And I just think it's so terrifying because we already know the projection of the type of jobs that can be lost to AI. It basically is already actively happening in front of our lives and we don't even realize it. Like, even when you go into your supermarket, think about the amount of self-checkouts you get now. That's completely wiped out a section of jobs, like factually. And now they're obviously doing this in call centers. They're trying to get so much out of the way before you maybe have to deal with like the tiny final bit with a human. And it's just like all I hear left, right and center in general is, maybe this is a UK thing, but like so many jobs are being made redundant in various sectors, various industries. And I know there's like various reasons. It's not just AI, but like I really, really fear for our future and what is to come when you're just slashing these responsibilities from people in favour of an AI robot called Olivia. Like, what the fuck, guys? Like, it's sad. It's just so sad. And you know what? I think back to my call centre days and yeah, do you know what? Wouldn't like wish to return to those type of jobs because they're very hard and they're very hard for the little money you get paid. But actually, I just had the most like probably like character shaping experiences there when I think back, and I'm so thankful for the fact that I got to do those jobs and I met so many different people and you meet so many characters in call centers and you're all quite young, and it was like an invaluable life experience for me and really I genuinely think helped me off in like future jobs. Like, I got so many transferable skills from it. And just to think that, like, you know, we know that graduates are so struggling at the minute anyway, just to even get a retail job. And, like, for many graduates, like, going to a call centre or an admin job is, like, very much an entryway to some kind of career. And so now that we know that, like, they're just trying to replace that too, it's like, God, there's just no hope, guys. Like, it's giving iRobot, and I'm not here for it. Will Smith needs to come in and just kill them all. Take them all out. Take all the AI data centers out. Fuck ChatGPT. Honest to God. Yeah, I don't know. It's slightly concerning times, but if you want to listen to me go into a full deep dive on my general thoughts on AI, go back quite a few episodes. Maybe I'll link it in this bio, but I did a bit of a deep dive on just like the increase in AI with a bit more like factual context behind it. So yeah, those are just my random thoughts of the week. But that kind of brings us nicely to the end of the pod. It's been about an hour now, and my throat is very much hurting, and my vocal cords are getting a bit chopped here. So I'm going to stop yapping now and go have myself a little hot tea. But I hope you've had a marvellous week, whatever you've been doing. I will catch you on the next one when I'm over in Barcelona, in Spain, with my friend Josie. So stay tuned for our episode, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, honeys. Bye!